I am thrilled to share my new album, Happy Together, which I recorded with my orchestra once again. We finally had the chance to come together and create music. Meanwhile, heartbreaking news has hit Hollywood. André Rieu's son has revealed shocking health issues concerning the beloved maestro. André, famous as the king of the waltz, has captivated audiences worldwide with his beautiful music and charming presence for more than 50 years. However, after several shows were cancelled unexpectedly, fans grew worried. Rumors about his health began to spread quickly, but no one knew the truth until now. His son, visibly upset, has broken the silence to confirm the worst. What serious health battle is André Rieu fighting? Could this be the end of an era in classical music? Stay tuned as we uncover the emotional story behind André Rieu's diagnosis and his son's heartfelt farewell. A familiar struggle is back. For decades, André Rieu has amazed audiences with his grand performances and passion for music. As the heart of the Johann Strauss Orchestra, his concerts have always been magical, loved by fans of all ages. But behind the scenes, the Dutch violinist faced serious health problems that almost stopped his career. In 2010, Rieu claimed he had never missed a day because of sickness. He even said he didn't suffer from jet lag, which is impressive for someone who travels often. That changed one night during a holiday in Belgium. Rieu was suddenly woken at 3 a.m. by a spinning feeling, said the room seemed to be moving uncontrollably. First, he had no idea what was happening. The following morning, he was said to feel completely broken. Rieu had spent days packed with work and stress. He hurried to finish a DVD project, began intense Spanish lessons for concerts in Mexico, and weathered extreme heat all in just a few days. Looking back, he admits he only knew two ways to operate: full speed ahead or a complete stop. He believed happiness and mental strength could keep illness away, but that incident changed his mind. Later, doctors diagnosed him with a vestibular nerve infection, which affects the inner ear and disrupts balance. Cold-like symptoms could trigger it, leaving him dizzy and nauseous whenever he tried to stand. At first, he played down how serious it was, but he soon had to cancel tours in Australia and the UK. He couldn't imagine taking 6 months off, not only because of his passion for performing, but also because he was responsible for a large team financially. He had a brain scan to rule out worse problems like a tumor, and thankfully nothing else was found. Still committed to healing, Rieu tried various treatments. Fans also sent helpful advice online. One Australian fan suggested specific balance exercises, which Rieu practiced every day. These included walking in figure eights, moving his eyes in different directions, and standing on one leg with his eyes closed. Rieu says those exercises made a big difference. After 3 months, he felt strong again. His recovery also brought big changes to his life. It took time to review his work. He found many tasks outside music, like managing business and giving talks, were draining him. He made 2 lists: things he loved and things he didn't. The list of things he loved was small and mostly about music. The second list was long, and he decided to cut out those stressors. Since then, he has focused on life filled with joy, passion, and health. Experts say vestibular neuritis usually clears up in weeks, but some cases can come back. Rieu was aware of that risk and knew stress could cause a relapse. He decided to only work on what he truly loves and protect his health. Years later, troubling news has come out again. His son recently shared that Rieu is facing a serious health problem once more. Fans are worried, and old memories of his past illness have returned. Could this be a relapse? Something even worse? What is André Rieu fighting now? The worst fear has become real. Everything had been carefully planned. André Rieu and his orchestra returned to Mexico after 6 long years, and fans were overjoyed. The excitement was undeniable. The concerts were completely sold out, and the first 2 shows in Mexico City went smoothly. But less than a day after the second performance, disaster struck. André suddenly fell very ill. It was quickly confirmed that he had caught a severe flu, bringing a high fever and extreme exhaustion. The tour was halted, and all remaining concerts were cancelled. His son Pierre Rieu later explained what happened, said the long flight, the jet lag, and Mexico City's high altitude made everything harder from the start. André had only a single day to rest before the first show, which was not enough. The combined stress overwhelmed him, and his body couldn't handle it. What began as minor discomfort turned into something far worse. Pierre admitted that making the decision to stop the tour was difficult, but André's health took priority. The team needed to act quickly and get him home. Fans found the news heartbreaking. Many had waited for this moment for years. Every detail of the concerts had been carefully planned. Yet, it wasn't just the audience who felt this loss. The entire crew was devastated. Pierre said everyone was disappointed, but health had to come first. The fear of something happening earlier had been there, but now it was real. For a few days, André remained very ill, barely able to do anything. It was a tense time. Eventually, he started to recover, but it took nearly a week before he felt normal again. André later said that even in classical music, it's possible to have fun. Still, the scare changed how the team viewed long-distance tours. Pierre explained that if they ever went back to Mexico, it wouldn't be before 2025. More rest, better planning, and fewer risks would be needed. The fact that André was 74 made the situation more serious. Long flights and tight schedules are harder at his age. Pierre was honest. Traveling halfway around the world was no longer the same. Trips to far places like Australia now seem almost impossible. He joked that some compare André to younger stars, but he pointed out his father isn't 30 anymore. Our bodies have limits, and ignoring them can lead to worse problems. After his second show, André was in good spirits backstage, smiling and enjoying himself. Still, he quietly told his wife he wasn't sure he could do another tour like this. His body had sent clear signals, and this time they were loud. The worst had been confirmed. Going on despite the sickness was no longer an option. If he wanted to keep playing music, he needed to listen to his body, rest when needed, and slow down. Even as André struggled, the strain was visible on his team. Could the high altitude and tough conditions be tiring everyone out? It seems like a general strain. Rieu wasn't the only one feeling the effects. Performing at over 2,000 meters is hard on everyone. There's less oxygen, and it takes a toll. Donna Alberti, one of the lead singers traveling with Rieu since January, said she noticed it during rehearsals. Her face got red, and nosebleeds became common among the team. She joked about it but confessed it was tough. During her song, "I Will Survive," she had to stop and drink water just to finish. Pierre Rieu, André's son, shared how proud he was of his father, who knew when to call it quits. Canceling the shows was a hard decision. Pushing through might have meant collapsing on stage. The decision also hit about 40,000 fans who had to be let down. A crew of 125 people had to leave early, causing chaos. Refunds, missed flights, and lost merchandise sales made things worse. The group wasn't even insured for this kind of situation. May, another performer, said she went from singing for 10,000 fans to hearing the tour was over the next day. Fans still approached her for photos, not knowing it might be their last chance to see Rieu in Mexico. Energy outside had been amazing. A market filled the area with unofficial Rieu merchandise, mugs, t-shirts, and plush bears. Rieu had laughed about it then. During the concert, the crowd cheered his name. He said he felt that way every night. Fans told him it took 2 weeks to get over his show. He asked them to go home during encores. They refused until he played. Again, no one saw what was coming. In the end, everything suddenly stopped. Back in Mustry, André rested and focused on healing. Pierre said he hoped for a good show in Liverpool, but it looked like Mexico might be the last time Rieu performed there. His earlier words, "I just want to stay healthy so I can keep doing." This now sound like a warning. Sadly, this wasn't the first time André's crew felt the stress. When did this first happen? It was a heartbreaking loss. André Rieu once admitted that stress could hurt his health seriously. He'd battled a bad inner ear infection before from overwork. He promised to focus only on what he loved, music. For a while, he seemed to keep that promise. But recent events have raised new fears and brought back memories of a past scare that shook his fans. In 2016, fans worried when Rieu suddenly canceled multiple tour dates. Rumors spread quickly, with many believing he was seriously ill again. His past health scare made that seem possible. Whispered concerns about another relapse grew loud. Later, it was confirmed that the cancellations weren't due to Rieu's health, but to a different reason. One of his trusted orchestra members had died. The loss was too much for Rieu to handle, and he needed time to grieve. Still, false rumors continued to circulate. Nearly 10 years after his health crisis and the 2016 incident, a similar situation has occurred. Today it was announced that Rieu's sold-out concert at the Motorpoint Arena in Nottingham, UK, was postponed. The tour was meant to be a big event, but now fans had to wait. Rieu shared that music is a form of healing, and that a member of the Johann Strauss Orchestra suffered a heart attack early that morning. His production team said Rieu was deeply upset by the emergency and saddened to cancel the show. The musician remains in critical condition at the hospital. Fans are asked to be patient and understanding during this tough time. A new date for the concert will be set once things improve. The cancellation wasn't because of Rieu's own health worries, but many fans still became concerned. Because of his past health issues, some wondered if the stress or shock of the event might cause him trouble again. For Rieu, the Johann Strauss Orchestra isn't just a band. It's his family on the road. This moment hits especially hard for old fans who remember how quickly concern turned into panic back in 2016. Rieu has had several health scares, which led him to a tough choice. What did he decide? After just 2 shows in Mexico, André Rieu had to cancel the rest of his concerts. He flew home to Mestre because of an unexpected illness. That was a big decision, but it made him see he might need to slow down. Still, he wishes he could keep performing at full speed forever. But this time, he simply couldn't go on. When he returned home, living with his wife Marjorie, it was clear that making up for cancelled shows wasn't possible. Rieu usually avoids talking about these problems himself. Son and spokesperson Pierre clues us in. Pierre says that many things hurt Rieu's health. The high altitude at the National Auditorium, where Rieu performs, is part of the problem. It's about 2.5 kilometers above sea level. On top of that, Rieu caught a bad flu, which made things worse. Playing in Mexico put extra strain on him. Rieu always took good care of his body, exercising, playing tennis, jogging, eating healthy. But age is catching up with him. He's proud of his stamina. But this time he couldn't keep going. His legs shook, and he worried he might collapse during the shows. His fear led him to cancel the tour, which was very unusual for him. Pierre explained that André often performed while sick, even with a fever. But this time, it was different. It was simply too much to handle. Now that Rieu is fully well again, 4 concerts have been called off, and thousands of fans are left disappointed. Fans will get refunds, but no new dates are planned. Rieu told his team he doesn't want to go through that kind of ordeal again. Traveling to distant places like Mexico or Australia is no longer a sure thing. The long flights and time zone changes are exhausting. There are still shows scheduled in Chile, Argentina, and Colombia later this year. But his team is now more cautious about which trips are worth the risk. From now on, they plan 1 year at a time. While long-distance tours might be fewer, fans from far away can still visit Mestre for Rieu's famous summer concerts at Friedhof Square. Many say those shows have the best energy of any he hosts. Rieu admitted it's hard to think about giving up performing worldwide. His love for music is just too strong. During his illness, he realized how much he depends on his work. Not being able to perform left him feeling restless. Staying home made him feel even crazier. To stay healthy, Rieu and his team decided to cut back on non-essentials. He's doing fewer interviews, speeches, and press events. He explained that when he gets too busy, one of his balance organs can act up. It makes the room spin and keeps him from stepping on stage. He's dealt with this for 20 years, and it hasn't gone away. Still, by managing his time better, Rieu hopes to keep making music for as long as he can. So maybe at a slower pace, but he'll focus on what matters most. What does André value most? Not only about himself, but in life in general. During an interview from his home in Mestre, Rieu said he still has too much to see and do to spend all his days just sailing on a cruise. In that chat with The Standard, he shared that he and his family take a modest 3-day trip to Rome each year. Outside of that, his schedule is all about music. He's never taken a long break or retired. It's not just any orchestra. He built it himself. It's his life's work, he said. and it isn't changing. The interview also mentioned that Rieu jokingly said he's only halfway through his life since he hopes to live until 140, despite his age. Mine was full of ideas for future tours. He already had plans to do better than his last shows. But he also realized he needed to slow down, which was hard to accept. André admitted that after concerts, sleep was difficult, and this worried him. He recalled how tough the lockdown period was, describing it as pure torture. During those restless nights, he took up baking. One of his hobbies aside from performing, he spoke about how being in this hall, which he called the most beautiful in the world, brought him great joy. He found comfort in watching baking videos on his iPhone. His new hobby soon became a favorite. He often posted pictures of his baked goods online, and even appeared on Heel Holland Backed, the Dutch version of the Great British Bake Off. Some jokes that he might switch careers and become a baker. Rieu, however, quickly dismissed that idea, said his heart is still with music. Spokesperson confirmed that, although he enjoyed baking, nothing could replace making music. Love for performing keeps him going and pushing him to grow. As an artist, no matter the obstacles, André only plays music that touches him deeply. People wonder about his health now, or his performances in Australia and faraway places coming to an end. Share your thoughts below. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Check out the next video on your screen. You'll enjoy it.